knew how much you loved me, never knew how much you cared. Gold is brought through the fire, angels brought through the fear. Through the mud in my face, put the shame on my name. Though your sins be like scarlet, in the rain purge away. Curse be the man, I trust a man like a firebrand. It's gonna burn your hand and you understand.
New York, we here. Yeah. It's all my brothers that struggle in this walk as the Israelites. Shout out to the Israelites, yeah. My sisters too. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Yeah. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Yeah. Yo, my brother said he never been a weak Jew. Well, I'm weak if you see me from God's view. I struggle falling short, falling off the horse, being an Israelite to death until death puts an end to my course. In this truth for over a decade, converting blacks in essays. Low cut Caesar afros, or when I had braids. Discerning spirits with my spiritual x-ray. Betrayed by brothers and sisters, but I still pray for new days. People question Leon, why you not a captain? Why you not traveling? Why you falling back in the action? What happened to your passion? Cause I've been bullshitting with myself, not loving myself, not seeking spiritual help. But I'ma pull through and climb Jacob's ladder one day, and remove these carnal flaws and increase the times that I pray for. I'm God's son, the son of the supreme, with dreams that royalty is restored to the black kings and queens, princes and princesses, no longer niggas and bitches and trees. Removing off this mental collar and leash, while the Israelites holler for the truth on the streets and kill off the red devil, dragon, serpent and beast. No peace can never come unless your soul is one with Abba. Follow God, I follow the stone, but not the Kaaba. I follow Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, my mighty ox, when 44,000 soldiers deep on your block. Purple and gold, reciting the stories the father has told. Either hot and cold, lukewarm niggas will fold. Power hungry Absalom, brothers God will expose. While the stone will destroy, defeating the toes. To all my brothers and sisters who sending this truth, but still standing. Winter is coming until we wait the king's landing. So that's why I carry my sword and not a handgun. I'm waiting for these mansions.
Goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
We gonna make it to the end, brothers and sisters. We gonna make it, yeah.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
The revolution will not be televised. But in the meantime, I'm enduring the hardships reflected in my past life when I came off the hardships. From Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, no man shall save us like Dr. King in 68. A winter watch riots inspired Planet of the Apes of watching 90s Israelite classics from the old tapes. Kendrick Lamar said we gonna be alright, but he disappeared when he said he's an Israelite. This walk is not for the feeble, just ask Brother Nick Cannon. Can skip the basics, you have to be sharp like Brother Shannon. The truth is undisputed, highly therapeutic. Brothers can amp you up, sisters can feel acoustic. Furthermore, gotta keep the circle tighter than glue sticks. Can't feature with certain people for all they know is music. Surrounding myself with genuine spirits. Yeah. He who have ears to hear, let him hear it. Yeah.
Goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
Trials and tribulation, yeah. Trials and tribulation.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
We all got problems, we all got struggles. Yeah. We gonna be alright though.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
We gotta fight to the end, brothers and sisters.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, all the days of my life.
Pray for one another. Pray for the downfall of your enemies. Yeah. Divine, divine, divine. IUIC.
Thank you for tuning into the Forefront Radio. I'm your host, Afiel Levi Israel. Now, if you're interested in helping us promote our brand, please feel free to donate to our Cash App. Our Cash App is $Afiel Levi. That's APHIELLEVI. And that'll go directly to the Forefront Radio so we can produce more incredible shows for you to listen to. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download this free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you.
Yo, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I think I'm good, man. Yeah, all right, turn me up just a little bit, a little more. All right, there we go. I'm ready now, I'm good.
Ready
now.
or not?
I read the Black Messiah on the way.
Here I
better
go.
Get ready. With them swords, he ain't come to play.
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's what he gon' say. The nations hate us, but they gon' have their day. It's okay.
Ready or not?
I read the Black Messiah on the way.
Here I go.
With them swords, he ain't come to play.
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's what he gon' say. The nations hate us, but they gon' have their day. It's okay. Why the heathen raging? Cause they see us raising the 12 tribes up, coming out them scriptures blazing. They never heard it like that. It sounds so amazing. Christ is a black man, he ain't no Caucasian. The word has been deceived through that popular persuasion. They ask me why I do it, I just say it's for my nation. The kingdom, the motivation, put our life on the line. But our sister love them pants, and we can't put down that swine. We ain't got time, we on the grind with the kingdom on our mind. Look at the signs, chairs flying, it's about to go down, and I ain't lying. People blind to missiles flying, like the break your song. Imagine how they gon' feel when they found out they was wrong.
Ready or not?
I read the Black Messiah on the way. okay.
Ready or not,
I read the Black Messiah on the way.
here I go.
With them swords, he ain't come to play.
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's what he gon' say. The nations hate us, but they gon' have their day. Yeah, okay. What's the reason for the verdict? This place is so perverted. Not to mention they walk on the bones of natives that they murdered. Our history been reverted, rewritten, and then inserted in the minds of our youth, and they thinking that we deserve it. Like we supposed to be on the bottom. Teach our young men that they kings. You ain't gotta sell your soul for a dollar. Life is way more than who dreams. Teach our daughters that they're a princess, then mold them into a queen. Decent and in order, that's the only way to get a king. See, we tearing down the enterprise. No more white man lies. You ain't gotta have their blonde hair, straight nose and blue eyes. Take pride, we was created in the image of the Most High. And the nations wanna be us cause we so fly. True.
Ready or not,
I read the Black Messiah on the way.
here I go.
With them swords, he ain't come to play.
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's what he gon' say. The nations hate us, but they gon' have their day. It's okay.
Ready or not,
I read the Black Messiah on the way.
here I go.
With them swords, he ain't come to play.
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's what he gon' say. The nations hate us, but they gon' have their day. It's okay.
Contribute? Say something.
You want me to say something? Fine. I'll say something. You people. You're not a race. You are a virus. You destroy the world. Everything beautiful you poison. You drag us from our homes. You rape our daughters, murder our sons. You crack our spines and do all you can to break our will. You stab us. Then you put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. And if you don't do it yourself, you stand by, close your eyes, and pretend there's nothing wrong. And then you pray to your God to silence our screams so that you can enjoy the happiness that we built for you with our blood. But it's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. And I hope that happens very soon.
Well, this evening obviously hasn't gone as I'd hoped. And I think I'm having a full-on panic attack right now, so I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get myself together, and when I come back, I hope you don't see me as the devil.
Realize, I'm gonna say something. A lot of times, our people don't like to connect the dots. You could say you're a Muslim all day. Don't nobody give a damn about that. You could say you are of the Kemetic community. Don't nobody give a damn about that either. You could say you are Egyptologist. Don't nobody give a daggone. You can say you're a Christian. You can say you're a Rastafari. Don't nobody care. But the second you say you're an Israelite, the true Hebrews, now all hell breaks loose. Because that's the problem. You got to connect. What is the connection between Deshaun Jackson and Nick Cannon? What did they say that got them in hot water? It ain't that the white man was a savage. It ain't that we are the originators of all things. That's that bull crap. That's jailhouse talk. It's by them both saying we are the true Hebrews. We are the children of Israel. Now they catch hell. You better, Negroes, you better learn to connect the dots. It ain't no problem. All of the stupid things you're in, there's no problem. You can say it till you're blue in the face. But the second you talk about the Bible and that we're the people of the book, now there's problems. Now there's problems.
It's AZ3 in the building. Yeah. Calling you daughters of Sarah. We see you. Today is your day. That's right. Author of beauty. Come on. Come on.
For the first author of our beauty have created them, labeled them. Beauty is much more when you relate with them, way with them. Hate it cause they ain't it, can't compare to them, away with them. My sisters like that precious, ain't no one mistaking them. You can't get her twisted, nope, sick religion's fake to them. Girded in any scripture, sister sharper than the blade of pen. You can surely miss her with them critics and their labeling the apple of her father's eye. Ain't no one replacing him. Kinky, curly, twisty, yep, realer than what real can get. You cannot define her with designer or a makeup kit. Driven is a given, she divine. I say she heaven sent. The maker left his mark on that. Who you gon' replace her with? Modest, not ain't novice yet. She flyer than the pelican. You can catch her with her kids. Got a house, that's how she lives. Ain't another better search the earth, and you ain't finding them. For Israel is the Lord's portion. She the one I'm riding with. Riding with.
Gon' let your light shine. You left all that ratchet stuff behind. Now the only thing that you screaming is Proverbs 31 be the reason for that virtue that you be bringing. Woo. And your price is far above rubies. Ain't got time to be a nuisance, cause as is the mother, so is the daughter. But you ain't really worried because that righteous example of your husband you follow. So his head wraps, fringes on, chilling on the Sabbath. Yeah, you ain't caught up in the madness of diamonds and pearls and costly array. And yeah, you looking good, but professing godliness is all that matters to you. Dressed to the foot, you ain't worried about the haters. Walk what you talk, hold it down for the nation. Yeah, support the troops, and it ain't no imitating, that's right. In Israel, you know, ain't no nation greater. Woo.
Let your light so shine, so men might say a good word. Oh, you're an Israelite, let the nation see what you're worth. Ooh, I got my dress on check, my fringes on deck, my head wrapped on, looking modest when I step out. Cause we're the greatest people on this earth, oh. So I'ma let my light shine bright, yeah. Ooh, I'ma let my light shine bright, yeah. Ooh, I'ma let my light shine bright, yeah. I'ma let my light shine bright, yeah. I'ma let my light shine bright, yeah.
You are now listening to The Forefront Radio, where we discuss history, the Bible, the history of the Israelites, science, and other matters. Bring it out. The history of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as it relates to the Bible. Who were you prior to slavery? Who were you prior to colonization? These answers and more can be seen and heard as you listen to The Forefront Radio.
The African continent has an extensive history and interaction with the Abrahamic religions. Christianity and Islam are well documented within the continent, but seldom do we explore the history of Judaism in Africa. And with modern-day movements within the African diaspora, this history is being advanced within the social framework of the public consciousness. What up, African world? It's your boy Home Team here, and I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And remember, if you want access to sources, courses, exclusive videos, or you just want to support the Home Team, you can do so on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. It's no surprise that scholars are having to address the history of Judaism in Africa due to the rise of the Black Hebrew Israelite community. The Hebrew Israelites have done a fantastic job at moving the discussion through grassroots efforts in urban communities. Their narrative has become so potent that it even influenced the minds of popular hip-hop artists like Kendrick Lamar and Kodak Black.
I'm an Israelite, don't call me black no more. That word is only a color, it ain't facts no more. Hey, I'm an Israelite, my diamonds Israelites.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Hebrew Israelite influence in popular culture. My last video about the top 10 African ethnic groups taken in the Atlantic slave trade spurred up the debate about Hebrew Israelite claims concerning biblical prophecies and how black people in the diaspora may reflect this history. A lot of you guys have been messaging me to share my thoughts on the topic. I thought it would be an interesting topic to analyze, but more importantly, I wanted to go into the details of some of the major claims and compare it to what we know about West African history. So here it goes. First, we're going to discuss the general history of Judaism in Africa, and then we'll compare them to the Hebrew Israelite ideology and what some scholars have to say. I definitely can't cover everything in this video, so keep in mind that there will be a part 2, so make sure to make comments. With any movement around the globe, it's important to have elements of truth in it, and that's how most of them acquire their following. The truth is, there is a history of Jews in Africa. According to most accounts, the earliest Jewish settlements were in North Africa, and it only makes sense for Judaism in Africa to begin in the north as a point of entry from the Levant region where it originated. Jews and Amazigh, or what we call today Berbers, ultimately interacted with each other, and some Berbers in North Africa actually converted to Judaism. In fact, according to accounts from the 19th century onward, Queen Kahina, an Amazigh queen who fought against the Arab invasion, was said to have converted to Judaism. Even though this is debated within the scholarly community, it still points to the presence and influence of Judaism in Africa. Pointing further south, in Ethiopia, the queen who destroyed the Aksumite Empire was believed by some to have been a Jewish convert. Her name was Queen Gudi. And again, despite the controversy, the knowledge of Judaism in Africa was not foreign or unknown. But the most unlikely place people are to expect the presence of Judaism tends to be West Africa, because it's so far away from the origin of Judaism. Admittedly, the most direct evidence for Jews in West Africa comes from the West African writers themselves in the Tariq al-Fatash. The Tariq al-Fatash is a West African chronicle written in Arabic in the second half of the 17th century, and it provides an account of the Songhai and Mali empires. The Tariq al-Fatash describes a community called the Bani Israel that in 1402 existed in Tendurma, Mali, possessed 333 wells, and had 7 leaders. It even goes on to list the names of these leaders, and even states that they had an army of around 1,500 men. Apparently, there was a sizable amount of Jews in the Songhai Empire, and according to Leo Africanus, the Askia, or king, really wasn't too pleased that they were there. The king is a declared enemy of the Jews. He will not allow any to live in the city. If he hears it said that a Berber merchant frequents them, or does business with them, he confiscates his goods. It's important to note that thousands of Jews and Moors during this same period were reportedly expelled from Spain and came to settle in North Africa. But nonetheless, Jews were in West Africa, and Africans and Arabs recorded their presence. There are many more accounts of Jews in Western Africa, but let's discuss the strongest claim from the Hebrew Israelites that support their narrative. Like mentioned before, the Hebrew Israelites claim that Hebrew communities lived in Africa, and historically that's true. But their strongest claim comes from Dr. Rudolph Windsor in his book From Babylon to Timbuktu. There, he proclaims a Hebrew Israelite state in West Africa called Camnuria or Kanuria. The Moorish writer Leo Africanus informs us of the past existence of a medieval Hebrew state called Camnuria or Kanuria. In fact, Camnuria did indeed exist, and to Dr. Windsor's credit, there is very strong evidence that there were Jews living there. In Mauritania, according to oral tradition of Western Africa and Arab sources, the first inhabitants of Mauritania were the Bafour people, who apparently claim Jewish origin. The Bafour were a pre-Berber people in the region who reportedly were black Africans with some Semite ancestry. Al-Idrisi, the Muslim scholar and historian, writes, and I quote, "The inhabitants of Camnuria, following the saying of merchants, claim to be Jews." According to Al-Idrisi, when the Islamic Berber Empire of the Almoravids were expanding, they began to oppress the Balfour Camnuria population, and they were left in a state of survival. Only a small group from Camnuria remained, scattered between the deserts and near the coast, and living off dairy products or fish. They lead a hard and precarious life. They wander in this territory. Now, like mentioned before, all movements and religions must contain elements of truth to them, and this is by far the strongest and most reliable argument of the Hebrew Israelite community concerning Jews or Hebrews in West Africa. Now, given all of that, with further analysis of their claims, the scholarly and religious community have many objections. For the sake of time, let's all concede and agree with the position of the Hebrew Israelites that all the Hebrews from Israel all the way to North and West Africa are all black Hebrews. Even if we concede to that point, there are still difficulties with assigning these people not only to the African diaspora, but African kingdoms. But we'll get into that later. It's important to note that the Hebrew Israelite ideology and belief is very diverse, so we're going to tackle the most popular one. The book From Babylon to Timbuktu and its author, Dr. Rudolph Windsor, is one of the most celebrated history books for most Hebrew Israelites. So we'll use his claims from this book and compare it to what we know historically about West African history. Dr. Rudolph Windsor is a Hebrew Israelite himself, and in his book he claims that the kings of the Ghana Empire, also known as Wagadu, were black Hebrews. The black Hebrew kings of Ghana had two titles, Kayamaga and Ghana. It's a well-documented fact that the Soninka people founded the Empire of Ghana, not black Hebrews. The Soninka weren't Jews at all. In fact, they had a legend about a giant snake that they made a pact with to sustain their land. According to Soninka oral tradition, the Soninka venerated a giant snake named Beta, and they made sacrifices to him, and I quote, "Every year the Beta would receive a maiden and a horse, and in exchange the Beta would rain gold upon the land." This obviously has strong religious undercurrents concerning their traditional African belief system, which was the veneration of snakes. Nothing at all within Soninka society points to any Jewish socio-political or religious parentage. Hebrew Israelite scholarship has a tendency to bulk up the presence of Jews in West and Central Africa, so that the millions of people sought off the coast of Africa will align with their claim that all victims of the Atlantic slave trade are the true and authentic children of Israel. The argument actually crumbles with the numbers. The way they tend to boost these numbers is by claiming the originators of some African empires or kingdoms were black Hebrews, and they simply converted to Islam later on. Like with the Empire of Ghana and the Songhai Empire, many Hebrew Israelites claim the original West African Songhai dynasty, known as Western Africa, was a black Jew. His name is sometimes written Za al-Ayaman. Because it's assumed that we can't confirm historically the religion of the early Dia or Za dynasty of the Songhai, Dr. Windsor simply inserts the idea that it was a black Hebrew one. The Tariq el-Sudan, which is another chronicle from West Africa written by an African, makes mention of the Za dynasty and its ruler, but does not at all mention that he was a Hebrew or a Jew for that matter. Thankfully today, due to new information, we have some writing from ancient Songhai traditional scribes called the Kumba. This was the earliest Songhai writing form used to communicate largely religious matters. A Songhai historian named Dr. Hasimi Maga has preserved the text of his people and given us insight into the religion of ancient Songhai people. The following is a written Songhai communication between two priests. Peace be upon Ndebi. Men and women are greeting you, and the river, the forest, and the Genji. The cattle, the birds, and the animals are suffering because of the lack of rain. Peace be upon Ndebi. Men and women are greeting you. May the peace of the day and the night be upon you. We must organize the dance. We must sacrifice animal blood and offer it to the Genji to drink. When the Kumba receive such letters from other scribes, they explain or interpret the meaning of such letters. Such letters also can be ordered by the chief of the village, the king, or they can be initiated by the Kumba themselves for the benefit of the population. Now, based off this communication between two Songhai scribes or priests before the advent of Islam, it's clear that the god that they worship, which the Za dynasty kings seemingly validated, was not Yah of the black Hebrews, but Ndebi. Also, nothing in black Hebrew Israelite culture makes reference to offering animal blood to the Genji, which the early Songhai dynasty believed were spirits in human form. We have to ask ourselves, why would black Hebrew kings of the Songhai allow the worship of Ndebi and the veneration of Genji? These are very difficult questions to answer if we are to subscribe to this idea that the early Songhai kings were black Hebrews. The fact is this: the ancient Songhai dynasties very clearly weren't black Hebrews, acquiring any traditions from the Levant region and worship of Yah, but they were West Africans practicing a traditional African belief. By claiming that Ghana and Songhai were originally Hebrews, you automatically boost up the numbers of Hebrews in Africa greatly, along with other independent Jewish communities we see historically, and thus you can comfortably align yourself with the claim that all the millions of victims of the Atlantic slave trade are the true and authentic children of Israel. Attempting to disprove Hebrew Israelite origin in African empires can be difficult, as anyone can insert an Israelite presence with historical gaps. But one thing that seems a little peculiar is Dr. Rudolph's claim that the black Jews maintained their history, laws, and written records, and they did not absorb into the African tribes. Instead, the African tribes absorbed into them. The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autochthonous population. So according to Dr. Rudolph, the black Hebrew kings of Ghana and Songhai had the advantage over other Africans because they maintained their culture, written records, laws, and history. Also, these black Hebrews were not absorbed into the African culture, taking on any of the African cultural, religious, or societal ways, but that the Africans took on the ways of the black Hebrews. This is a pretty bold and problematic statement because in order for it to be true, the most basic human activity has to accommodate what he's saying, and that's language. The one question we must ask ourselves is this: if these black Hebrews kept their cultural ways and history and laws and influenced the Africans, how did they not keep the Hebrew language? How did the language and the writing not influence the local population, and why aren't there any Hebrew history books in West Africa accounting for these African empires? Take for example the Tariq al-Sudan and the Tariq al-Fatash. Both of these books were written in Arabic, which is a language brought over from a people also from the Middle Eastern region, who clearly brought over their religion, language, history, and laws, influencing the African population. If the Arabs were able to do it, why weren't the black Hebrews able to keep a simple thing like their language or the Hebrew writing if millions of them migrated to Africa and built empires and maintained their culture? If what he claims is correct, then the Soninka people of the Ghana Empire had to have been absorbed by the culture and laws of the black Hebrews. If the kings of Ghana were Hebrew Israelites who kept their tradition, why would they give themselves Soninka names instead of Hebrew ones? For example, here's a small list of names from the kings of Ghana that is well documented. King Kayamaga, King Mayen Diabe Sise, King Basi, and King Tunka Manen. The names of these kings don't seem remotely Hebrew or Jewish. In fact, these names are Soninka in origin, Sise being a very popular Mande name. The names of these kings also point to the originators of the Ghana Empire, which is obviously African and not black Hebrew Israelite, as Dr. Windsor proclaims. Also, if the black Hebrews kept their laws and written records as Dr. Rudolph claims, why would the Kumba Songhai scribes not be writing in Hebrew script? What reason would they have to invent a totally new writing system and worship a new god named Ndebi and not Yah? If these black Hebrews influenced the Africans and kept their Hebrew written records and laws, as Dr. Windsor claims, then the supposed black Hebrew kings of Songhai would not be writing in an ancient Songhai script. When comparing African history with the most celebrated Hebrew Israelite commentary on black Hebrew Israelite history, we run into some serious issues. However, even with these historical issues, the Hebrew Israelites, to their credit, make convincing arguments from the Hebrew Bible itself, as parallels between the children of Israel of the Bible and the Atlantic slave trade are bound to be similar. Well, I'm all out, guys. In part 2, I'm going to tackle the strongest biblical evidence black Hebrew Israelites use and compare it to biblical scholarship. If you like this video and want to learn more and gain the sources, you can go to patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Stay tuned for part 2 as we discuss the history and rise of the Hebrew Israelites and analyze their strongest biblical position. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.
Yep. Had to do this one. They see us on the streets and we beat, but I kinda class and got my people sleep. Man, they sleep, They praying upon the weak, trying to fold us, but leadership a full-time job, they can't hold us. And we've been going hard for a minute, but it's only the beginning. Man, the scriptures gon' hold me down. Whitewash, now we only serve a white guy. Nice try, but your plans gon' backfire. Black matter gon' rule the world, I'm God's child. Black matter gon' fix it all when he crack the sky. Black matter gon' turn so we kings down. Black matter gon' overpower your black eye. Hey, put the clock on 12 cause it's side time. I told her we in hell and they thought marijuana. We rock the streets like it's designer, planting seeds like godness. We paving ways up in the streets like it's the night. Eyes pass me the match, y'all set the fire. Set fire to the spot with the word of God. Pass us, you better turn around, call sons of God, knows going down. Sad at the way they did Aragona. Mad at how they did Brianna. George Floyd had knees on him. Y'all think we supposed to make peace with them? What's the solution, man? I know you wanna march, but the marching only temporary. We've been oppressed for too long, my people getting weary. That's why we tell them repent, cause we was chosen, not supposed to live like other nations. They see us on the streets and we deep, but iconoclasm got my people sleep. Man, they sleep, they praying upon the weak, trying to fold us, but leadership a full-time job, they can't hold us. And we've been going hard for a minute, but it's only the beginning. Man, the scriptures gon' hold me down. Whitewash, now we only serve a white guy. Nice try, but your plans gon' backfire. Black matter gon' rule the world, I'm God's child. Black matter gon' fix it all when he crack the sky. Black matter gon' turn until we kings down. Black matter gon' overpower your black eye. How I'm supposed to be blessed while catching knees to the neck. By any means I protect this side of mine, this pride of mine. I try to calm him down, but he ain't trying. Black man was made from black sand. King of the earth, but lost your way by chasing your sin. Love for my people, but I won't sit around and pretend like we ain't got work to do, like you ain't got worth in you, like you ain't supposed to do what you have been birthed to do, like you ain't got purpose too. That's why we hit the block, no Drake, but this is non-stop. We need protection from cops that keep our fists locked. Knowing we box, but they don't want us to fight back. Knowing we God's children, but now scream we black. They see us on the streets and we deep, but iconoclasm got my people sleep. Man, they sleep, they praying upon the weak, trying to fold us, but leadership a full-time job, they can't hold us. And we've been going hard for a minute, but it's only the beginning. Man, the scriptures gon' hold me down. Whitewash, now we only serve a white guy. Nice try, but your plans gon' backfire. Black matter gon' rule the world, I'm God's child. Black matter gon' fix it all when he crack the sky. Black matter gon' turn until we kings down. Black matter gon' overpower your black eye.
We don't say Noel.
Purchase your tracks today.
Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant, and for Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die. Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant, and for Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die. Said it was Christ who drew me out of the mud. Thanks to IUIC, man, cause they be the plug. I was hanging with the killers, drug dealers and stuff, until my savior intervened and said that life is enough. So I started praying more and watching videos on YouTube, keeping all the feast days, cause that's what the Lord say do. And now I'm on the block with the prophets and we're teaching the people to stop sinning, cause we gotta get the kingdom. And for that major change, I gotta give Him major praise. By fasting and praying, subduing all my ways. He ain't have to show me mercy, but He gave me grace. So 10 times more, I'ma seek His face. When I'm going through affliction, He's the one I seek to give me patience and guidance in the spirit of peace. I pray to never go off, always stay meek to the one truth, one God, one King. Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant, and for Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die. Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant, and for Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die.
We the Jews and Christ the King. If you ain't rolling with the Father, better get on the team. We the prophets back in the earth for telling what we foreseen. From ancient Babylon to Alexander the King. Ain't nothing new under the sun, we catching hell today. But when he finally crack the sky, it's gonna be hell to pay. We put an address on and mail it straight to your place. And we don't pill or talk at all, we tell it straight to your face. We the army of the Lord, so we following suit. And I ain't scared to lose my life long as I die in the truth. Tell my wife I did my best and tell my kids that I love them. That's why before I go to camp I give a kiss and I hug them. I'm 10 toes down like a gator in the creek. Since I woke up to the truth, I ain't going back to sleep. Be strong in the Lord and stay away from being weak. When you see me in the streets, I be bold when I speak. Cause
Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant. If in Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die. Christ is my God, He is my King, He is my Lord, my everything, my confidant. If in Him I ride, keeping the commandments until the day I die.
These brothers don't know the Bible.
To whom pertaineth to whom pertaineth
bring it out. Belongs to
the adoption and the glory and the covenant.
Look, why you waiting? They brain gone like decapitation. No knowledge, no laws, God, they forsaken. Put on slave ships, not a cruise line, Jacob. No martinis for that long trip, stop playing. They change our name with hot flames branded on our faces. Throw our kids in dirty water, alligator baiting. 100 million dead people, blood on the pavement. You say Jesus, but I'm looking at these crackers like they Satan, nigga playing. They paying for their crimes, calling statute limitations. They saying that it ain't them, that it was their fathers. Isaiah 14 say prepare them for their slaughter. This for Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner. Babylon falling, fire burning arson. Christ coming back, real black like the charcoal. Burning up these heathen for the evils that they conjured.
It's for us, our eyes have yet failed, for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation they couldn't save us. They slay us and get off free like they made us. But I switch the game up, the black Messiah can save us.
I ain't finished. Esau soon will be diminished. Mount of Zion full of saviors, call them God's children. 144, Esau about to be a victim. Keep the laws, then we get them on the day of vengeance. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Esau running for their life like it's LA Fitness. Revelation 18:6, double portion with them. Try to hide the caves, but they screaming, let's get them. He that leader with the sword, gonna die by the sword. They gonna be surprised, Black Christ coming here for war. They ain't heard this before. No more nice Negroes, time for real heroes. Esau be zero, just like Nat Turner. Turn me up, we gone. Turn me up, we gone. And I'm out, Israelite.
Now he's mad about the way we're teaching the Bible. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
For us, our eyes have yet failed, for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation they couldn't save us. They slay us and get off free like they made us. But I switch the game up, the black Messiah can save
Never
us.
trust my enemies, I know what you did to me. Locked and loaded KJV, Revelations 1 and 3. Reading through these mysteries, our praises, now we got the keys. Unlocking hope and giving hope to those that seek the Holy Ghost. My holy folks gon' hold me down, exhorting on a daily basis. Prepare for temptation, crafty counsel just around the way. Snooze, you lose, you snooze, awaken, oh ye slugger. I see brothers killing brother, ministers, women raising monsters. That's why we crying loud on you busters. Scripting, ripping through the trenches in the scenes of the ghetto. My people at a lower state, the prophets here to motivate. Isaiah 61 and 1, grinding up these broken hearts, reform them till they make it.
Thank you for listening to the Forefront Radio. We now have a Cash App. The link is in the description of the page here on anchor.fm, also on Spotify. We appreciate you listening in. We do have a few features that we are including now. We are selling a few products such as watches, perfumes, colognes, and other products will be available for our Israelite community as well as the general community of the population. We have a Facebook page. Just type in The Forefront Media and you'll be able to get updates of various shows that we drop when they do drop. Please do share this show if you like the show, and we do hope that you do love this show. And tune in for more episodes once we have them available. Thank you for listening to The Forefront. I'm your host, Afiel Levi Israel.